Hello and welcome back. I am Reverend Dr. Lori Williams, and today I'm going to explain to you how to meditate. It's actually very, very common for people to struggle with meditation, and I was one of those people as well. I tried to meditate for about 20 years because I was told it would help me with things like ADHD and depression and anxiety and all those kinds of things, and I struggled with it constantly. And there's a few things that I learned that actually helped me to be able to learn to meditate. And now I've been meditating for almost 10 years. Not exclusively by any means. I'm definitely not perfect with it. But that's my very first point actually, is they call it a meditation practice, not a meditation perfection, because you don't perfect it. It's just something that you're constantly trying to do. One good thing is, though, I heard very early on in my journey of learning how to meditate was that you cannot have a bad meditation. And like 5 minutes of a really crappy meditation is better than no meditation at all. So, that being said, what is it that typically gets people hung up on the meditation process? So, unfortunately, it's somehow somewhere along the way it's become a belief that meditation is about quieting your mind or about like stopping your thoughts, and that is not true. So I just want to shift your perspective on this. Meditation is not about stopping your thoughts. It's about controlled thoughts. It's about thinking the thoughts that you want to think and not attaching yourself to the ones that you don't want to think. So let's say if you're trying to meditate and you just start having thoughts about your grocery shopping list or what you're going to make for dinner tonight and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you don't want to think about those kinds of things. You don't need to think about those kinds of things. And so you can just let them like come in and let them flow out. Don't give them any second thought. Don't, while you're sitting there, if the thoughts of your grocery list come in, when you catch yourself, adding like bread and butter and milk and all that kind of stuff to the list, just be like, okay, I don't need to think about this right now. And what you can do, I find that this helps me the most. Just telling that thought to go away doesn't always work for me. So what I do is I bring my focus back to my breath. It's almost like a reset for your thoughts. It's like, okay, and like just keep focusing on the breath in and the breath out until you have those, control over your thoughts again. And it's a matter of recognizing too that your mind, your thoughts essentially, are going to feel like they're going to be coming in like it feels constant, like it's constantly, and it is because your brain has been allowed to just do whatever it wants for the entirety of your life. So now that you're trying to have a little bit of control over your thoughts, it is going to take some time for you to kind of get into a rhythm of slowing those thoughts down. Now, I'm someone who has ADHD, and my attitude is if someone with ADHD can meditate, anybody can. It's just you got to figure out what works best for you. Some people, when they need to bring their thoughts back and have that control over them again, they'll think of like an apple. They'll think, and I mean, they think about the color of the apple. They think about like the core of the apple, like maybe how it tastes, whatever works for you. But I find that just focusing on my breath works the best. The one thing that I found very interesting when I was learning to have these controlled thoughts is they were coming in like nonstop, constantly when I first started. And it took me quite a few months, I'm going to say probably like 4-5 months of meditating once or twice a day to finally get to a point where I had a little bit of control over how many thoughts were coming into my head. And what I actually realized in that time is that the thoughts that I was having was actually my intuition talking to me. It was my higher self talking to me. I was getting my intuitive guidance while I was in meditation. And that's because our brain waves actually, they rise up into a different in a different frequency. So, and that's why meditation is so powerful and so effective. So when you are looking at trying to control your thoughts, you want to look at them without over analyzing them or without having an emotional attachment to them, and kind of pay attention to them, because you might be getting some guidance because you're in that different frequency, you're in that different brainwave. And I think that is like probably the coolest part of meditation is if I'm like super, super stressed out and You know, maybe I might be struggling to hear my higher self and hear, like, be able to figure out where, like, what my intuition is trying to tell me. I go into a meditation and I can get that answer right away. So it is so good for anxiety and depression and things like that. There's so many health benefits to meditation. I really encourage you to to research it. And I mean, obviously it may not be for everyone, but give yourself time. Forgive yourself if you mess up. Don't beat yourself up. Meditation is not about you know, like kicking yourself while you're down kind of a thing. It's one thing that you can do for yourself where you are completely focused on your own self, body, mind, spirit, everything. And it really is a practice. So it's something, at least until you get into it, you're going to want to be doing it often. Even if you're just doing it, like, you know, 10 or 20 minutes before bed. Like I said, a 5-minute crappy meditation is better than none. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will be more than happy to help you with your specific issues with it. And yeah, and just enjoy it. Have fun. It's a time to relax. It's a time to just bring yourself back to yourself and let it be a beautiful process. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next time.